Friends, Jimmy LaRose here at National Religious Broadcasters, here at the big convention in Nashville. I'm here with my good friend Todd Isberner with Share Media. Todd,
hey,
thanks for being here today.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Listen, we have been trying to convince broadcasters, both radio and television, that there are acres of diamonds within their file.
Well, you're absolutely right about that. In fact, probably one of the best, let's call it an invitation to partner with a radio station, is the Share-a-thon, or the fundraising broadcast.
It originates new donors
all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I would say probably now 50 to 60% of the names that will appear on a donor form at the end of a Share-a-thon or a pledge drive are brand new first-time givers. So what do we do with them is the question, and who are these people? Well, obviously, as you know, working for years, it's all about developing a relationship with that donor.
So what we can do is we can be excited about the one gift that they give, that they participate for the first time via the on-air campaign, and it's our point that we've missed 90% of the opportunity.
Well, we have, and primarily it's because we're sort of bringing them in, collecting the money, and say thank you so much, and then bye-bye till next time.
Right.
And we get on the air and we try to beg them to give again. So our whole point is, how do we develop them? How do we develop the relationship? And to do that, you've got to understand who that donor is. Just because I give $25 or $25 one time or monthly doesn't mean I don't have greater resources available. The problem is you don't know that unless you develop a relationship with me. So there are ways to do that, and I want you to comment about that in just a moment. But let me just illustrate about the potential that lies within these donors that we don't know about. Years ago, on one of our radiothons, we had a pledge drive specifically for a campaign. And one guy called the radio station and said, I got to talk to the manager. Okay, now he doesn't listen often, but his wife listens all the time. And he said, I'm excited about the idea that you guys are going to have another radio station in this community where I have friends, and I want to talk with you about maybe some opportunities. So can we have lunch? So the manager, all excited, well, yeah, let's have lunch. He looks up the donor record and finds out that they're giving a whopping $25 a month. And he's going, oh man, I've got this lunch schedule, what am I doing? He goes to lunch and he finds out this man has a passion to do something big and the resources to do it. And he throws on the table in front of this manager, I want to give you $250,000 as a match challenge. You've got 3 months to raise it and match it dollar for dollar. That's how much I believe in it. Now here's the point of all that. No way, no how did that manager know the capacity for those donors to give unless that donor made the contact. Why does the donor have to come running to us begging us to give? Can't we do something to reach out and find out who they are and what their capacity is?
I have a similar story. I was hosting a training event on the raising of major gifts, and I had a donor testimony. I had a donor come in and share the mindset of a donor. I kid you not, she looked at one organization, and it was a radio station, a Christian radio station, and she said, I give you $100 a month. She looked over to another nonprofit ministry in the room and said, I've given you $100,000.
Wow.
So the point again is that within the file, there are individuals of net worth, gravity, influence, and do not presume to think that we know just by looking at the names.
That is the key. Stop making assumption based on a name and how much they give. There could be so much more behind the story. Now granted, there are going to be times the person gives $25 one time, that's their capacity.
Yes.
You have to treat them with love and kindness and keep them partnered, but how many opportunities we're missing because we're not developing the relationship, we're not finding out more about that donor. How do we do that?
There are all sorts of resources that are available to actually, where we can take the existing name entry file or newsletter file or listener file, and we can actually do, now I don't want to get in trouble here, but we can actually do wealth overlays and really understand specifically the individuals that exist in a person's, in a radio station's file, who are those individuals of net worth and gravity.
Okay, so you're talking about like hiring a private investigator and going and checking up on them? Is that what you're talking about?
I know, I know it sounds like it could be off, but the truth of the matter is, for only pennies, public information can be automatically gathered because there's all of these resources that have been what's the right word? A clearinghouse of resources, where we can now take a donor file, or take a name entry file, upload it, and 5 days later come back with a specific report of everybody's potential.
Well, let me just point out the tragedy in all of this, in my opinion. The tragedy is there are people within our donor pool who would love to give more. They have the resources to give more. They've just never been asked. And one of the reasons they've never been asked is because we don't know what their capacity is, we don't know where their heartbeat is, and we don't understand the possibility of them being a visionary for our ministry. They want to partner with us. Let's give them an opportunity to do that.
It's great, Todd. You want to know what? If you don't ask, the answer is always no.
That's true. That's absolutely right.
And it's systemic within radio.
You're absolutely right.
Well, friends, thanks for joining us. Again, Polaris Fundraising Worldwide is responsible for raising major gifts and share media.
We've been doing on-air fundraising broadcasts for 35 years.
And we've been collaborating for years on these projects.
We have, and we're excited about all the other opportunities that lie before us. And when you think about all the tools at our disposal right now, you and I get excited realizing God has gifted us with some great tools to maximize our efforts and to be able to resource the kingdom of God.
It's great stuff. Thanks for being with us.